Hey, this is Jeremy, and it's time to talk about queer.
All is all we all are. All
Okay, Queer is director Luca Guadagnino's latest film. It is his second movie to be released this year. Challengers came out in March, I think. It was delayed a year because of the actor strike. Queer is based on the famous William S. Burroughs book of the same name, and it stars Daniel Craig, Drew Starkey, Jason Schwartzman, Leslie Manville, and Omar Apollo. And it was written by Justin Kuritzkis, who also wrote Challengers. So the film is coming out next week. I saw it on Wednesday. It was the opening night film at the Festival Imagination, the annual queer film festival here in Montreal. And full disclosure, Festival Imagination is the main sponsor for my queer cinema club at Cinéma Moderne. Just putting that out there. I read Burroughs' book sometime in my 20s, and I really hated it. It's one of those rare books that I actually gave away. Normally I keep all the books that I read that I buy. So I really have to really hate something to give it away. The film follows Burroughs, played by Daniel Craig, as a gay man in Mexico in the 1950s. He's there to write and do drugs. He seemingly falls in love with the Drew Starkey character Eugene, who is maybe not queer. Then they go off to South America to try ayahuasca. The end. There really isn't much story. It's mostly just vibes. Burroughs and Eugene hanging out in the same cafe, having occasional sex. Burroughs getting drunk and embarrassing himself. Then the South America part is a bit trippy, but not as trippy as I thought it was going to be based on the early reviews. And honestly, by that point, I was just over the movie. The movie is 2.5 hours. Which is way too long for nothing to happen. I could not wait to get out of there. Luca is a great director, and this is true for this film as well. It's just a story that goes nowhere. The cinematography is great. It's super rich, super beautiful. Sometimes the green screen stuff, for backgrounds, looks a bit iffy, but it's forgivable. The score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross is maybe the best part of the movie, as per usual. The soundtrack is also very fun with anachronistic music, which I always love in movies. The movie starts off strong with Nirvana's Come As You Are. It sucks that the rest of the film didn't live up to that sequence. There's also 2 Prince songs in this movie, and that's always nice to have. Daniel Craig is fine in this film, very serviceable. I've never really been a fan of his. He's never bad, but I just don't find him exciting to watch as a performer.
I'll do what the fuck I want.
Drew Starkey doesn't really work for me. His character is really one note, but there isn't enough dialogue for him to build a character around, or for the audience to grasp anything about him. That being said, his performance doesn't really feel grounded in anything. It's giving TV movie. He should maybe be in a movie with Lisa Rinna and not Daniel Craig. He's very cute in a generic kind of way, and he has perhaps the best pecs in Hollywood, but that doesn't a great actor make. Some will say I'm jealous, but look at me. How could I not be? The real MVP for me, and he might just be worth the price of admission alone, is Jason Schwartzman as one of Daniel Craig's friends. He stole every scene he was in, and he may have been wearing a fat suit. I'm not sure. And I don't remember him being that short in real life, so I don't know if there was some trickery happening there, but he was amazing. And Leslie Manville is also great and juicy later in the film, but by the time she comes on screen, I was really over the movie, so sorry, Leslie. And fans of Omar Apollo will appreciate him going full frontal. Congratulations to him. It's just sad that he's playing a character with no teeth. And speaking of full frontal, much has been said about the sex scenes in this movie. And I have to admit, I was kind of let down. They're very short, not as explicit as you've been led to believe, and really not that exciting. And to be fair, they didn't have to be. But based on how this film was advertised, I was expecting a bit more.
You know as well as I do, there's nothing intimate about filming a sex scene on a movie set. There's a room full of people watching you. We just wanted to make it as touching and as real and as natural as we possibly could.
And Luca even does that thing that angered people in Call Me By Your Name, where the camera looks out the window when people are having sex, which I thought was a hilarious way of him trolling us. So is Queer a love story? Is it an adventure movie? Is it a drug movie? What is it? Fuck if I know. It's certainly a movie because I was sitting there in the theater for 3 hours. But other than that, I don't know what to tell you. And who is it for? Which is a good question. It may be for fans of the book, whoever those people are. Fans of Daniel Craig, I don't know.
I kind of look at this movie and I think if I wasn't in the movie and I saw this movie, I'd want to be in it.
I'm not sure it's for gays. It's really not that fabulous. Little side note, last week at my film club, filmmaker Xavier Dolan was there to introduce Greg Araki's Mysterious Skin. And we were talking about an upcoming film he's seen. I won't reveal like what it is. But he was saying that he can appreciate a movie that's told in like a very conventional, traditional way if there's a story that's really good or a really amazing performance that's anchoring the movie, which was the case for the movie we were talking about. But for anything else, he likes if there's like something more, like technically speaking, like whether it's amazing cinematography, score, editing, or like a twist or like something script-wise that's different. So I wonder, like in Queer's case, like does a movie that's technically great looking and feeling, but with a lame story and just like acceptable performances be considered like great? I don't know. As for its Oscar chances, I'm not sure at this point. I think a lot will depend on the reception once it like actually comes out. Daniel Craig could possibly sneak into Best Actor. He's never been nominated before. But I don't think there's that much to this performance, so I'm not sure it's enough. I think Luca would have had a better chance of getting a Best Director nomination for Challengers if they decide to push that. Same for Justin for the script. Challengers is better. Cinematography, I don't think so. Score, I think Trent and Atticus, again, have a better chance with Challengers. So this might end up getting like 0 nominations. I personally would nominate Jason Schwartzman for Best Supporting Actor, but that's just me. I give Queer 2 stars on Letterboxd because I have a lot of issues with it. It bored me, which is a cardinal sin. And so I don't feel I can fully recommend it, even though I know most of you are going to check it out anyway. But, you know, let me know when you do. And let's hope that Luca's American Psycho adaptation is a little bit more thrilling.